Why would you want to make a group with him?
Because he wanted it.
He pulled you into his idea of a group.
Yeah, right. Because he worked at Intimate's Bakery, so he used to have money for.
Well, why'd you say yes? Because you're rapping, he's not.
Who wouldn't want to make a record? He knew about. I was like, make a record for real? Go to the studio? Like, yeah, we go to the studio. My brother got this. My brother goes to. I know where to go. We go make a record because we listened to Red Alert and we heard something on it that was bad. So we was like, yo, damn, they can do it. I know we can do it. You know.
Who was it?
I don't have no idea who he played.
Because we all see that person who's like, if he could make it, I could make it.
Well, I know that the inspiration for me, again, was Cram to Understand, MC Light, Rakim, and Biz Markie.
Interesting.
The Touré show. Okay, though. The Touré show. Okay, though.
That might be the best question I've ever been asked.
You're a phenomenal person. I mean, you legendary.
I am a fan of you, my brother.
Erick Sermon is one of the great MCs of his era, half of EPMD, one of my favorite duos. Let's get into it. It's a big conversation about music, about the start of EPMD, about working with Kanye, about working with Jay-Z, about MCs he loves, about how to produce music. This is a legend of hip-hop culture, so I'm honored that he came through and we chopped it up for a long time. Let's dig into it. It's Erick Sermon from EPMD. So take me back to the beginning. When was the first time, I want to know the first time you encountered hip-hop, because you're a little bit older than me, and I remember where I was the first time I heard Rapper's Delight, and it was like, this is different than the other stuff.
Right, way different.
That my parents played, that comes on the radio. So when was the first time that you noticed rap, music, culture, anything?
Well, that was, in the neighborhood, you had
in Long Island.
Hip-hop in Long Island, right, where I'm from. So if I didn't know about the city, I would think that hip-hop started where I was at.
Okay.
Because we had the same thing, DJs, breakdancing, graffiti.
In the park?
We had a park too.
Okay.
Called Regis Park. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
Regis Park used to be a park where people used to go to, and there used to be a DJ called DJ Pleasure, used to be from out in the city, used to come and plug his stuff in light posts. And
before Rapper's Delight, y'all were popping.
Yeah, but it didn't, Rapper Light was coming.
Yeah.
So he used to do that. We used to do that all the time. Don't forget, the other stuff in the city was still, you heard about Busy Bee and them, but not really knowing them. Rapper's Delight came out and changed everything. That changed us to move forward more quickly than we thought we were going to be doing once we heard the culture. Because again, some of the mixtapes was coming from the city.
Yes.
That, the Wild Style, then the movie.
Yes,
You know, so when you so you like, hey, who's this Double Trouble? Who's this, all these, whatever. So at the time, so that stuff was coming, but that was the major effect. The message was also, because it's 79, so it's that too, and Rapture. So all three of these are at the same time.
But like Rapper's Delight, like we could see, like they're doing a routine.
Yeah. But that's
right?
What routines came from.
For sure.
From them.
For sure.
Back them.
But when you heard the message, it was like, oh, this is the beginning of what we do, right? Like the culture, like that we didn't have a name, hip hop culture, but it was like that's that shit.
Yeah, that right there was the change of, again, Curtis Blow, that that type of style of, know. And then Run DMC came with that too, with the rap, but then differently.
Yes.
So that whole thing too had came in, and we was home just listening. It was mostly Marley Marl and Red Alert.
Right.
But Red
the
Alert
big DJs,
was cool with Parrish's family.
Oh, wow.
Red Alert used to come to Long Island. Him and some, a lot of those people back then, Super Lover seen them from Wild Style used to come down too. They was also Parrish's sisters. Parrish had a lot of sisters. So they was to come see the girls. Exactly, right. So, that vibe was there. Again,
when you talk about the Melly Mel style of party rocking, right? Shorter words, right? Boastful.
Right.
To me, the MCing was going in that direction, and then Rakim comes out.
No.
Tell me, because I'm like, educate me, because I think Rakim changes it.
Yes, he does.
To internal rhymes,
After Run DMC, though.
But Run DMC is the Melly Mel style on steroids.
I know, exactly.
Right? Rakim takes us into the modern era. Is that right?
Rakim changes to the modern era.
Yeah.
He's the one that makes the change. In 1986, when Every President comes out, and My Melody, it changed.
It changed. And we're pretty much rhyming in the Rakim style for the most part. Since then.
He's why I rap. Like, as far as it kept going. Because he's 2 towns away from me.
Yeah.
So I'm from Brentwood. He's from Wyandanch.
Yeah.
So then my DJ used to be like, Eric, some dude named Rock Wind is out.
Okay.
His name was Rock Wind to us, not Rakim, Rock Wind.
Okay.
Whatever. And he rhymes slow like you. So I'm in school hearing about this guy, Rock Wind. So when I find him, it's over. I fell in love. So I had a cassette tape where I put one side, Eric for President, the other side was Nobody Beats the Biz. And these were the 2 things I'm playing. Now, Marley's did some shit that nobody's doing. Marley Martin, because he's invented sampling. So as far as how you do it on record, so those 2 records are done by Marley. So the sound is like, yo, what is this? But the rhymer is rhyming slow.
Yes.
And he don't have a lisp. I have to rhyme, so I'm like, Nick, Nack, Patty Whack, give a dog a bone. There, yo, don't give him nothing. I got to do that because to understand me enough clearing, I got to rhyme like him too, rhyme slow. Of course, I'm not him with the rhymes, but the technique, the slow flow that's what we learned from him.
And there's you always, I want to say, in the back of your throat and kind of calm, rather than some MCs like KRS want to be like raw, right, and Run want to be raw. Like DMC was more laid back. So that was a lane for you, right?
But Rakim was the lane. Once I heard that, I was mad comfortable, and Paris knew it too, because again, it was the slow flow.
Where did you and Paris meet?
I moved to my grandmother's house from where I was telling you, from Regis Park. So when I came to Paris, I already had like a city vibe, from a city kid going to this whatever, even though wasn't from the city, but my side was live. We had the DJs, the rappers, the breakdancers, the graffiti artists. So when I moved from there, I already had a little bit of props coming from that side of town. So when I came from that side of town, later on, whatever, I rhymed to him. And he's like, for real?
At school.
Right. So he used to bring his friends to me. Because we, in Brentwood, we had 2 high schools next to each other. I don't know if you ever heard that before. We had I'm from Ross, he's from Sonderland, but it was right next door where it was a corridor where you can walk through and have classes like college on the other side, on that school too, and you can have classes on this side too. So one class I had to go on Paris's side. Okay. So when I go on his side, he'd bring his friends up and have me rhyme.
Same grade?
Nah, I was under him.
Okay.
But and
so you connected first on music.
I connected first at the bus stop. And then Paris, we became friends. And then Paris was a DJ, so he had equipment. So I would go to his house and we just became friends.
The sonic mix between you two is great because your voice is a little bit higher. You have the lisp, right? He's lower and very precise. So it's a very yin yang. You're giving me different sounds with each of you.
The thing about me and Paris, people don't know that we rhymed side by side the whole time.
What do you mean?
There was no separate tracks. We rhymed. He would lean over, and then I would lean over. He would lean over, and I would lean over.
You're literally standing shoulder to shoulder in the studio.
Yes.
Because you weren't doing routines, but you'd do half the verse, and then he'd do half the verse.
It's a Run DMC style.
But they would do a little bit more like, a little more interplay.
Yeah.
You were too cool for that.
No,
I did 8, he did 8.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly.
But you recognized early on, like, yo, this feels right. Like his voice is a great compliment to my right, because you guys are doing 2 different things vocally, which fits well together.
Well, no matter what, the slow flow was still there. So no matter how articulate or whatever he was, it still was the same concept of us being these type of funk rhymers. You know, we're gonna say some ill metaphors, say some things that people wouldn't say, talk about, and then do it away. And then, like you're right, our voices mismatch. And us not knowing with the same microphone was make us intriguing because, like, yo, look at that. We're on the same mic and that EQ has to be almost the same. So we was kind of identical, but not identical, which is crazy. Because when I go back to it, I'm like, yo, nobody's gonna believe that this is not separate mics. This is the same mic, one track. For not one album, but two.
I mean, you talk about the funk. New York was really about James Brown.
James Brown.
You guys were like Zapp, George Clinton, which became the West Coast sound, Parliament. But why were you like, let's go funk? Because that was really you.
It wasn't let's go funk. It was like whatever we played was played in the house.
In your house.
So Paris' household was kind of like mine as far as his dad had Mad Records. My dad had Mad Records too. So like I said, in the beginning, Paris was a DJ, so Paris knew about breakbeats. And Paris's father had the More Bounce cassette tape.
Yeah.
So that's what that came from. So in the beginning, it was mostly Paris's idea of creation because his brother came from it. So he knew. So he made the records in the beginning. Again, we didn't have equipment. So our engineers back then did the ideas for us until we end up getting equipment later. So in the beginning, if you ask, that's why you see Marley Marl with Eric B. and Rakim. They bring the ideas, but Marley Marl synthesized it.
How did you learn how to MC? Because first album, the flow was tight. You know, I feel like you have your identity as far as who you are. Because you don't change a lot so you already know who you are on a debut album. So how did you learn how to write, how to flow, how to be an MC?
Yeah, that's the whole thing too. Like being in the neighborhood, watching the other rappers that was around me, and then the format of Rappers Delight was the format of it. And then Super Rhymes came out afterwards. And after that, the Fantastics 4, Fearless 4, Treacherous 3, stuff started coming. The 80s is coming.
Routine era.
People coming. So it teaches you how to say certain things. And so as a writer, as a kid, you was taking what you thought it should go like. But again, with me, it was the Jane story. So I wrote a make-believe story about Jane, some girl I made up that happened to be on EPMD's first album. It became a series of Janes. Those was the first rhymes I really wrote, and about this guy named Bernard Getz who shot somebody on the train.
Did you shoot 3 black kids on the train, or was it one?
I said that. Let me tell you a little something you haven't heard yet about me and the homeboy Bernard Getz. He was at Penn Station sitting in the train. Then 4 black brothers walked down the lane, shot Bernie in the head, and shit was whatever it is, something like that. Yeah. But I had that rhyme in Jane.
Oh, that was the beginning of you really writing.
And that's when I spit those rhymes to Parrish.
Okay.
And then I started writing more stuff. And then he was like, Parrish didn't write. Parrish was a DJ. He didn't rhyme.
Okay.
I rhymed.
Okay.
So after we tried to when we was putting the group together, then he, started writing.
So was the original idea you was gonna rap? And
he just was. We wanted to make a group. He just picked it up fast as shit too.
Why would you want to make a group with him?
Because he wanted it.
He pulled you into his idea of a group.
Yeah, right. Because he worked at Intimate's Bakery, so he used to have money for.
Well, why'd you say yes? Because you're rapping. He's not.
Who wouldn't want to make a record? He knew about. I was like, make a record for real? Go to the studio? He's like, yeah, we go to the studio. My brother got this. My brother goes to. I know where to go. We're gonna make a record because we listened to Red Alert and we heard someone that was bad. So we was like, yo, damn, they can do it. I know we can do it.
Who was it?
I don't have no idea who he played.
Because we all see that person who's like, if he could make it, I could make it.
Well, I know that the inspiration for me again was Cram to Understand, MC Light, Rakim, and Biz Markie.
Interesting.
And then, of course, before that, too, it was Chris.
KRS-One.
No, don't forget, EPMD is the last group from that time to come out. So I had a chance to watch all of them, cane all of them before I came. So me and Paris not coming correct was going to be hard because we had everybody to look at.
You had all these great examples.
All of them. So when it's time for us to come, we like, okay, it's my thing. We like, yo, MC's out there. You better stand clear. EPMD is
a world premiere.
So no matter what. So, and that came from Mr. Magic and Marley Marl, the world premiere. That was something that we wanted to say. That was it.
Where did this line come from? This is one of the great opening lines in hip hop history, relax your mind, let your body be free, and get
no.
down to the sound of EPMD.
I don't know. I really don't. People say that because again, it's been repeated.
It's a little Rakim-ish, right? And you're
Of
talking
course.
about thought.
Yeah, it was some that again people ask me all the time, "What made you say that?" I said, "I don't know." Again, it just came. You writing, but again, writing something like that too. Relax your mind, let your conscience be free. Like, where did I get that from? How did that thought process came with those? Why did I use those words?
It's dope. It's dope.
Yeah.
So, when Paris started rapping, what did you think of him as a rapper?
Oh, he was dope because again, the flow was slow. So he was like, "I'm the PWEMDEE." And one thing so no matter what,
Writing MC.
it was the same flow, just his voice was different. So
Yeah.
if you put it together, that's why EPMD matched so well. The fact that I just had the list, so my pronunciation wasn't like his. But as far as the technique and the flow, yeah, that's.
Were you guys good friends?
Yeah, we was the best. That was my best friend.
Yeah.
At the time. Again, we was, did everything together, whatever. And then Paris was to go to school, so I was to go to Connecticut with him to his dorm, me and his friends, the whole nine.
To college.
Right.
Where did he go to college?
Southern Connecticut, because he played football. He played kicker and quarterback there.
Oh, wow.
So at the end of the day, once that's what made the EPMD time shorter, because we were starting out in 85 and 86 that we had to wait and skip, and then because he had to go to school, and then the demo was made in 87.
Wow. That's crazy. When you guys were really hot in those first couple of years, who were the groups who you were looking at like competition? Like, hey, what's he doing? What are they doing? Make sure we're on point.
Yeah, it wasn't really no comp. The fact that we just had the Rakim beef,
What do you
because
mean?
the neighborhood used to be like, putting us together, like as beefing, because Rakim had a song called "Ain't No Joke,"
Yeah.
and in the song he says, "You can get a smack for this, ain't no joke." EPMD comes out with, "You a customer, you smack me and I'll smack you back." So that
Were you responding to him?
No, the
Just-
fact this is just out of coincidence.
Yeah.
But the neighborhoods took it. And then EPMD was like, signed the R, music was whack, dropped the album, Sugar Bean, thought it was dope. Next thing later, the LP one goes to "What You Saying." Now we hear too, Paris is saying the name. Like, it sounds like the R, you put this nigga's fucking in the store. This is Rakim. Brother said, "Dig him, I never dug him. He couldn't find leads so nuggets, so I drug him in the danger zone." So it's, no matter what, this record comes back to his single, "Follow the Leader." Brother said, "Dig him, I never dug him. He couldn't find." I'm like, holy shit, we got to beat this man. We cannot beat this man.
And then what?
And then we saw him at a club called The Building in Manhattan. There used to be a spot called The Building.
Huh?
We saw him by the bar. Paris went and talked to him, and we squashed it right there.
Was there a moment in an office?
Yes, it was bad. It was
What happened?
at Bert Padel's office.
What happened?
Bert Padel, they called me upstairs, and I went upstairs to.
Bert Padel was a famous hip hop money manager.
He was everybody's accountant,
Right.
down to a Madonna, to a Robert De Niro, to a Rakim, to a EPMD.
A lot of those
It
80s
don't matter.
records you hear
Everybody.
Bert Padel mentioned.
All of it. But not just that, the baseball players,
Yeah.
the singers.
So you're in his office with Eric. I mean, with
no,
Paris.
I'm in his office too, because we having a meeting.
Right.
But before I got to the meeting, they called me upstairs.
Who's there?
Eric B's brother, Anthony. God bless, he's dead now.
Uh-huh.
They called me upstairs. So Supreme is there.
Supreme.
Yeah, this is
Supreme.
Fort Greene. This is something different. This is a whole nother gangster.
Different Supreme.
Eric B's people.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So they up there, not that Supreme. Another Supreme from Fort Greene, the Puerto Rican kid.
Okay.
And they up there in the office, and then I look around, and there's Rakim in the office. So Rakim talks about something I said to somebody, got back to him about
So you're in a room with Rakim and Eric and all their friends
by
and
myself.
Hood, and you're alone. And Rakim's like, I heard you said something about me.
Right, but then he said something shit like you stressing me. Stressing me wasn't out yet. So this is all new. Somebody is saying, yo, you stressing me. Never heard the slang, never heard nothing like that. Don't think it wasn't slang then, but he's Rakim, so he's way advanced. Like you stressing me. So all I could think about was that big window in front of me. Like whatever, it's just that. Next thing you know,
You thought they was gonna throw you out the window?
I don't know. It just the whole thing didn't feel right. You know, I was
You
in it by
like,
myself.
I'm in danger. It's real in here.
Kind of, yep, kind of. Because again, I know who these guys were, and I know what they represented. And next thing you know, Paris comes in the door
And
says, "Yo, Bert want to see us." That was it.
they let y'all just walk out.
Yeah, there was. Don't forget, this is my mind thinking that whatever's going to go on, going to happen. I don't know. Maybe it is.
So nothing
But
happened.
right now, nothing.
But they were mad.
He was mad.
Rakim was mad.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You knew he was mad
Yeah, when I got there, but I didn't know that he had heard the story that I
before.
Yeah, that before that.
So wait, were y'all in the streets? You and
No.
Parrish? No.
What do you mean?
Like getting down in the streets.
No, I was a Long Island, but I was a guy who hung in Brooklyn a lot.
Yeah.
So I was in Pink Houses, Plaza, and Cypress. I stayed on that side of
Yeah.
East New York.
Yeah.
So again, you can say
But
whatever
you
you
weren't
say, but
pitching, you weren't working.
No.
Because they said, and I never nailed down how true it is, that Eric B was kind of a gangster. Some people said he was, some people said he wasn't.
I think that Eric B, that's the image that he portrayed. Eric B just had a lot of money. Don't forget this was he was
working. He's a working DJ.
No, Eric B and Rakim was huge. But don't forget, it's his group. Rakim was just a hired MC. Eric's group.
So wait, Sleeping Bag Records, your first deal, how much they gave you?
$750 a piece. So the whole deal is
750 period,
Yeah, period,
00
zero.
750 less than $1,000
Yes.
a piece
Yep.
when you were 18?
Yep.
And you
17.
thought that was dope?
It didn't matter. I wanted to be on the radio. The money didn't
All that mattered.
reflect it. We didn't know about getting paid then or having that. We just wanted to be on the radio. So that was extra to get they was happy to give us that check.
But were you under 18 when you signed
I was
it?
under 18.
So that's why you were able to end up on Def Jam.
Right. Russell was able to do what he still had to pay $1.6 million, but again, it was able to get the group. So if he had to pay that much for it, it was worth it for him.
That's crazy. When did you start to say, yo, we're kind of dope? Like you had a legendary career, but like at what point does it kick into you like, yo, we're really doing it?
The number one albums, because the sales were at the time with all my colleagues that was out, Me and Prize was number one album back to back, 1, 2, and 3. So that was a thing to where like
that's crazy.
It was hard to see that. And then now you got DOS Effects coming out, number one platinum album, the whole nine, all this is going. So again, we started to see too, like at the end of the day, we couldn't do no wrong. And then Def Jam 2 was like, okay, well, here's the 4th LP. And then we go number 2 in the country. So we just missed it by a slot. So everybody, there was not, the Hit Squad was so big and powerful, we end up doing our own tour.
Yeah.
Because I come from the LL Cool J tour, I come from Slick Rick tour, I come from the Run DMC tour. We was touring with these people. Once we got the squad, we needed no one.
Did your own tour.
Because all 4 of us was on the Billboard charts at the same time.
Wait, take me back, because I know there was a bunch of tours where you guys came out, 2nd, 3rd, 4th act on the stage, whatever it is.
No, first.
Well, before you were doing like, you know, I go to see Run DMC and we get y'all. I go to see so and so, we get y'all too, right?
Right.
So I know you got tour stories because shit was wild back then. People getting in fights in the hotel and
Yeah.
Like, give me some crazy.
Nah, well, again, the Run DMC tour was the first tour I went on. Run had told Russell, go get them boys. Because you know that the new wave is coming. So Run wanted to make sure that his tour was secure. So it was EPMD, Public Enemy, Jay Jeff, and the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, I was there.
You know? So the Run's House tour, which I don't know where no footage is at, but I remember just being in that arena 2 or 3 days. That was how it was back then. Playing basketball and Will Smith saying, "I'm going to be a star one day." And we like, "You already a star. You selling the most records out here." They was 2.something million records at the time.
Huge, yeah.
Bigger than all of us on that stage, even though it was running tour. But he was like, "Yo, I'm going to be on TV."
So he had the vision.
He already saw it. And then Charlie Mack first
Charlie Mack first went out
drove
the
him
limo.
to Cali.
Right.
So again, but Will was always talking that way. Like he kind of knew where he wanted to take this. And you hear that story about him being signed with Rush, but wasn't signed with Rush with the acting, with the music. So he ended up leaving and Rush and them let him leave without the complications. Because it could have been complications. So you tell the story like, yo, Russell and them was like, yo, let him go, you know?
What are the tour stories you got? I know you've seen
There's so many.
I know you've seen some wild shit.
I'll tell you what. The MC Hammer tour, right? Hammer had these speakers that he would come out of. So he told my group and the dancers I had, don't go on my speakers, right? So, like, okay, cool. Vanilla Ice opens up for us too that night. So, see how he turned out to be so big. But he opened up for us on the Hammer tour. And so it's amped up, crowds amped. My dancer jumps on the speaker, right? After we go off stage, one of the Hammer's brothers come out and says something to my dancer, right? So he yelling, Paris out of nowhere. Boom.
Clock Hammer's brother.
Clocked his brother. Glasses all over the place, finished. Now it's getting rowdy. So now we see all the people in the corridor looking to come and get us. So we had to find a way to get towards it, but it was only one way out, so we had to go to the corridor. So now there's them and some sheriff cops, but it's a bunch of them. It's only like 5 of us. When I tell you that, we wouldn't have made it out of there. We was gonna get fucked up. But for some reason, by the time we got going, the sheriffs had already came and already had blocked stuff off, the whole 9. But there was a call made to Russell the next day saying, we don't want no parts of EPMD.
So y'all got kicked off the tour then?
No. But just that luckily it was 2 days left and the 2 days
it was over.
didn't happen, but he didn't show up.
That's crazy. So wait, remind me, who comes first in your life, DOS Effects or Redman?
Reggie.
So, okay.
Around the same time, but I met Reggie, but then we did a show in Virginia at DOS Effects' school. It was a talent show that night. So we ended up meeting in 91.
So you met them at a talent show at their school. How you meet Reggie Noble?
Yeah, at Club Sensations in Jersey. I met him one night. He was with Do It All.
Okay.
Do It All wasn't Lords of the Underground yet. Reggie wasn't Reggie. Do It All came to the thing and he rhymed for me. And he said, yo, my man rap. Can you imagine that? Like, yo, my man rap too. And Reggie was like, I float like the butterfly, sting like the rock group. It threw me off because I'm just going to say, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He didn't use the metaphor. He used sting like the rock group as the metaphor. So I put him on stage that night. Like, nah, I don't know.
Just that line was enough.
Enough.
You're something. You're something.
Because you kind of know. I know what metaphors are. I know what something is different. I know it's different, you know? Keith Murray got signed off the same way. It wasn't that many lines. He said, let's squash the beef, cook it, we all can get fat. So I saw him making a burger, putting it in the frying pan, and then it rising from the metaphor. Let's squash the beef, cook it, we all can get fat. I know it's different. It's not regular.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, certain word plays like Biggie Smalls, niggas is mad to get more butt than ashtrays. Fuck a fair when I get mine the fast way, ski mask way. Ransom note. You don't do cadence that way, and that's not regular. So you know, off the top, this is not regular.
Yo, as soon as Keith Murray said "beautifulest," I was like, okay,
Right.
I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got to say? Because I'm listening.
Touré, I didn't even know the shit was made up. I'm super intelligent. I'm thinking this regular. Like the most beautifulest. I'm like, beautiful is not a word? It was like, no, Eric, it's not.
But I love
Yeah.
that it's not a word. It's so hip hop.
And it's so crazy that Keith Murray went to school for English. Don't forget, these are all my people don't know about my crew. They all college people.
Wait, you went to college?
I didn't go.
Okay.
Paris school. Reggie went to Montclair. Keith Murray went to New York Tech.
Smart.
And that's effects. These are all the hit squad is a bunch of college kids.
Wait, okay, Redman. This is one of the great careers of the modern era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Partly because of you. The funk was incredible. He's an incredible MC. Talk about working with Redman.
Again, the third album, EPMD album, we put them on 2 records, Hardcore and Brothers on My Jock. And when I brought it to Leo Cohen, Leo's like, Eric, he sounds like you. Meaning that he heard the tone, because Reggie's tone was low. And it was like, not kind of mumble, but something like what you got afterwards wasn't time for some action. If you go back to the EPMD album, you like, wow, what voice is that? It was a lower type of voice register. So, but I knew from the door, it doesn't matter that he was something I never heard before. It was something I never heard before, and he was really incredible with the mic. Like as far as wordplay, like, yo, who talks this way?
Yeah.
And where are you getting this from?
Yeah.
You know, this was in my head. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, you know, he took on to, he was a big EPMD fan too. So he was like, you know, couldn't wait to get on some music that was made that sound remind him of that. You know, so that was the illest connection because he already knew, he already liked what he was hearing. So it was not really kind of, not saying it was easy, but it was kind of almost in a comfortable situation.
I mean, he put himself into the records in a way that few other people, you felt like this guy has a lot of energy. He's unpredictable. He's ignorant in a great
It's
way.
the unpredictable part.
Yeah, like
fuck it, I got AIDS, bitch. You know, you got flack from that because what did he say? Like,
it's crazy thing
crazy
to say.
exactly,
But he'll
right.
say crazy shit.
Right.
He's the guy in the crew who, like, I don't know what he's gonna say. I don't know what he's gonna do. He's funny. He could fight. We gotta have him around.
And that's why you say when M says that when he was with the Outsiders, they took him by Reggie's house. Like, yo, that's Redman's crib. No, he was a big fan. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you hear M say the crazy shit he says,
Eminem.
he had somebody to look at to say, yo, oh, you can say shit like that?
Yes. Oh, Redman opened up Eminem's eyes of how wild you could be.
How wild you can be.
Interesting. So, Redman, incredible talent, incredible on stage, great artist, everything. The voice, the diction, the flow. He's everything. I think it's a great career. It could have been one of the great careers of all time.
Right.
And I think most people would say not in the top 10 when the talent to be top 5 is there.
The talent, yes.
Right?
No doubt.
So why, so he's had a great career, but you could have been, it's a stellar career. So why do you, and you agree with me.
Yes, exactly.
So why is he not getting everything he can out of his talent?
Yeah. That's a question that we, I used to ask a lot too. See, what didn't we do? What happened? I think that the Redman and Method Man phenom happened.
And that was good for him.
Right, it was. But then it took away from him. Then time go by, and time go by, and time go by. And then you don't, you know, not that whatever happens, the product don't come out. You know? That's what happened. Time goes by. other things happen.
I mean, when he got with Meth, who's also an incredible all-time MC.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Yeah.
They went in a Cheech and Chong kind of direction, a little bit more than a we're both great MCs direction, right?
Yes.
And they gave you verses, but they gave you.
I know what you're saying.
So are you saying that he got a little distracted from being a great MC?
I think that I don't know if it's going to be distracted. I just think that to complement each other, this is what had to be done. And I think in between that, it wasn't the Redman, strictly Redman personality, because now it's Red and Meth. So now it's this personality. So I think that what you're saying is definitely true. I think that somehow whatever it took from the solo part of each one of them, you know?
Yeah.
They both incredible, but the fact that now they rocking together, you don't have to worry about being so ill for 3/16s.
Yes.
You're only writing one.
God, you talked about Keith Murray. I loved him so much. The sound of his voice, the gravel and the grit and the growl. And you felt like, you know, like when you have a guy who's small but won't stop fighting, even though you knock both his eyes out and he's still swinging. You can't stop him. He won't be killed.
I started producing Kanye West May 30th, right? In California.
Of this year?
Yeah. Of 23.
You worked on Vultures?
Yeah, I was working on Kanye. That turned into Vultures when I got to Italy. When I got to Italy, it wasn't what you're hearing right now is not what I was working on.
What were you working on?
Y3.
Okay.
His solo project.
Okay.
Then once I went and did my Hip Hop 50, I had to leave and I had to bury my mother.
So sorry.
So in between that time period, I went home, did my obligation, did the BET Awards, did Madison Square Garden, did Yankee Stadium, did all that had to do to whatever. When I got to Italy.
Where in Italy?
We was in a place called an hour away from Florence.
Okay.
We was in Sting's old studio.
Okay.
Which is crazy. Dope vibe. But when I got there, Ty Dolla $ign was there. So they had switched the project to this Vultures project. So I'm like, okay, cool. No, just vibing with it.
So you had been working with Ye on a solo, leave, come back. Now the project has changed.
Right, because we started in LA. We was at the warehouse first, then we went to another place, whatever, and then he went to Japan.
Okay.
Right? And I wasn't going to Japan because I had the Hip Hop 50 obligations. So from there, I said, yo, I'll meet you in Italy. So he went to Italy. And we stayed, you know, whatever, till we finished stuff. So some of my songs were on there. I saw the list. When the list first came out, some of my songs was on there.
You're not on Vultures.
Not. Don't forget, Vultures is 3 volumes though.
So your records might show up
exactly right
on 2 or 3.
But I wasn't thinking they was showing up. When I saw the first list, it was on there.
You like Vultures?
Yeah. Again, it wasn't what I was working on first. So when I came back, I heard what they was doing. That was the vibe they was on.
What do you think of him as a musician, working with him?
Ridiculous.
Is it hard to work with him?
Kanye West is one of those people that you talk about, he don't need nobody.
He could do it himself.
He was playing me some shit, his man playing me some shit that he was doing in 2013, 14, 15. He is insane on production. He's insane on the mic too. But the fact that he chooses to do what somebody else is thinking, because again, when your mind is doing that, you don't think that is dope most of the time. You like to have the other ideas coming in. That's why he have so many people coming in giving ideas, you know, but he don't need nobody.
He doesn't need anybody, but other people are helping him, writing for him, producing with him.
Yeah, the same program. Before I even got this is his format. He got writers, he got people, and that's how they do, and they make the records together.
And right, and I mean, some people are like, well, that's different. I'm like, well, you chose what you were going to say and what you're going to rap over.
Right.
So it's still you.
Still you. Don't forget, Kanye West was sit there. All the things are recording. The Pro Tools is running, the mics are on, phones are on, dictaphones are on. So whatever he's saying is recorded at all times. Because he'll go up and be like, anybody recorded that what I said, that line, whatever. So he's that. So he'll say whatever. And then you would take it and then you'll put it in format how you hear it. And then you run it by him, say, what about this? Then
Because he's sitting there doing monologues, and some of it might be great.
the majority of it's great.
Majority of it's great.
As far as how he puts it together, because you can't believe that you're freestyling and then all of a sudden this is turned into a record, you know?
Uh-huh.
His freestyle or the way that he put the ideas be like, yo, this is already a song formatted already.
Does the stuff he said bother you?
I don't know what's gonna bother me as far as what he said, because I think that, you know, if you're talking about the other part, I don't, it doesn't pertain to something that, you know, that would have, that's gonna affect me because I'm not who you're talking about.
Because you're not Jewish.
Right.
What about when he says MAGA stuff and slavery was a choice, and does that bother you?
Well, again, I look at the individual, right? And I think that people take from some of the pressures, some of the death of the mother, and being able not to put stuff back together. So this right here was the thing to where, like, you know, to be people telling you what's going on, then your mind is whatever, you can lose it. And you can say some ill things, but there's a lot of ill shit too that is said that could be truthful too. You know? So I take it from like I said before, when I'm around and we're around them, it's all about the music. And the vibe is dope. There's none of that what, you know, the antics you think, that's what I was, you know, when you hear it, Touré, and then you be in front of it, it's different. Like the type of ampness of when you hear a beat, that's how he beat too. Holy shit, yo, E, this is crazy, yo. You know, the same shit, you know? And then he'd be like, yo, E, you playing more? Then he'd be like, yo, I say, yo, I done played 40 records. I can listen to 300. I remember all 3 of them. Just play it. I'm an alien, you know?
He said, I'm an alien.
Right.
I mean, does it seem like that? Like he's a genius and it's like...
I think that when you watch him, and it can be 4 things going on, and he know every 4 things that's going on. We can be sitting here playing a record, and he can be like, oh, yo, the collar's not right. How you over there and we over here doing it? He's involved. He sees and hears everything around him.
Even if you look at the anti-Semitism, like that's not me. Okay. But you're a businessman, and surely it must cross your mind.
Right.
The potential for you is less now. Even you didn't offend me, but you offended a lot of people, right? So like even like we debut at #1 on Apple, and Apple takes it down. You can't get it. We don't care. You can't get it on Apple anymore. You can't get it on iTunes anymore. So like there's a demand for the product, but there's a lot of people who are like, no, fuck that. I don't care. Right, and you know that, right? Even if, right, so put aside whether you feel about the anti-Semitism as a businessman, you're like, you've created a problem. Do I want to get involved in that?
That's what happened. But then you're dealing with Kanye West, no matter what, or we can sit here and talk about whatever. That man is powerful. And I went to the UBS arena. I saw white America. Don't forget, it's only 2% of Jews inside America.
Okay.
The rest of the world is the rest of the world.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what they're saying. You see, this made $19 million in a couple of days doing a couple of shows where he's playing the music, not rhyming, not doing nothing live, no live mic, no nothing, the merchandise. You cannot tell me, again, if somebody is canceling somebody, whatever they're doing, he's still powerful.
True.
It's unexplainable, no matter what. So I know that people can say and maybe behind closed doors or underneath their tongue, but when it boils down to it, he knows this.
We're jumping around a little bit.
$1 billion, can you imagine you being that person, you know?
Can I imagine what?
Being a billionaire.
He's not a billionaire anymore.
Touré?
That would kill me. To be a billionaire and lose that.
But he didn't lose anything.
What do you mean he didn't lose anything?
When he lost the Adidas deal, they had to give him $7 million. He won a lawsuit, right? The $500 million worth of shoes, whatever, they give it back to him. He owns that too. He owns the name and he owns his name in music. He has to pay nobody nothing. So all that money came back to him. All that thing, everything that we talked about, that what happened to him, it came back to him.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. When I was there, he was like, yo, so I was getting ready to buy the Gap, but what happened was, this is conversation, regular shit. The house that Beyonce and them bought for $220 million, he was like, yeah, I was gonna get that house for 180, but I was like, you know what? I'll get some down the street. So he went down the block, bought a $50 million house in Malibu, whatever, didn't even sleep in it for 2 nights. This is not a regular such and such. This is how, when you talk about people, how they put it in the perception of it, whatever, is not what you think. You think he's doing this, just walking around regular with the antics and doing whatever? No. The business was taken care of and handled. And now the president of Adidas is like, yo, Kanye doesn't mean what he says about anti-Semitism. They already given it to him already. So all that other shit that happened for no reason. Because they forgiven him. Even Adidas forgiven them.
Jumping around, which is cool. I'm not mad at that. I love that. Want to talk about 93. You and Parrish broke up.
92.
Excuse me, 92.
Right.
Why'd you break up?
Just differences as far as how, again,
Was it a breakup?
Yeah, because
Was it from you or him?
the only thing that went down that said that I went and did the robbery at the house and the whole nine. They have blamed this thing on me that I did this thing to him, the whole nine, and that's what the breakup happened at.
What?
You never saw Beef 2? Like the Beef series?
No, I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one. He
Yeah.
thought you robbed him?
It was a whole big thing.
He thought you sent people to rob
Yeah,
his house.
right.
But the relationship had to be bad at that point for him.
It was kind of going, because again, I just felt like I was really stressed inside the EPMD group. Like I just felt like, it wasn't beneficial for me. Like at a while, I just felt stressed out, felt real stressed, and I felt like I didn't have nothing, For the group to be that successful, everybody saw the one side in their eyes, like he has and you don't,
Oh, you weren't making the money that you felt you should have from EPMD.
Probably. And I just, whatever, then,
Why?
and then people be in your ear. That's what happened. You're young. Don't forget, we're successful.
Yeah.
We don't need nobody. We got a management. We got our own touring. We got our own groups. We got our own accountants. We didn't need, so we were self-contained. So all the stuff that you put inside, it was all just in one. So when it was all just in one, it was like only being ran by one individual and not by both of them.
You weren't 50-50 on EPMD?
Yeah, we were 50-50.
So how was he getting...
But I didn't control anything, so I didn't know what was going on. So I don't know. I didn't know, what was going on. So in my head, it wasn't that.
So
because it didn't show it.
You were not getting 50%.
I didn't know if I was getting it or not. I didn't see it. I don't know how much money I was making on the road. I knew no numbers, nothing. Don't forget, you can't have two presidents. You have to have one person running and somebody who can tell you that what's going on. So you hope that's going to be the right thing. And maybe he did. We was all both young, but something wasn't right, and that had to happen.
So he thought you sent somebody to rob him. That's crazy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He did get robbed
that
for
was
real.
Everywhere. Yeah. That was the whole big thing. That was the breakup. That was the whole thing that happened right the height of our career. The headbanger video was just shot. We just made #1. The headbanger video, the whole nine, boom. Next thing you know, whatever, I come home and I get arrested.
And that's it. What was the conversation like when you get back out and you're like, what the fuck?
Nobody gave a conversation.
Y'all didn't talk. For how long?
5 years.
Did you talk through other people?
No.
How'd you get back together?
Biggie Smalls died. Then Reggie's Suspects DJ Dice made a call, and we both got on the phone and talked about putting it back together just to have some type of good news.
Just as far as life is too short.
This good
For
news,
beef.
because Tupac and Biggie died. It's like, maybe we should get back together. Maybe we can get some people to be happy. Because again, they was sad when we broke up. So we like, you know what? Let's just do a new album.
Did you resolve the conversation?
We never had the conversation.
You didn't resolve. So he never asked you, did you rob my house?
This is the question that I've been asking. People have been asking. It never came up.
He never asked you?
No.
Did you ever say, of
No.
course I did? So you haven't actually bridged that issue?
No.
So what, everybody just like, we're just moving forward?
It just whatever happened, it just wasn't just brought up no more because again, he didn't ask it, so I'm not going to bring something up that he's whatever that.
Is the friendship the same or not really?
Nah, I mean, it's been. I'm going to always got respect for Paris because Paris believed in me. As a person that had a lisp, the whole nine, he saw it like, you know what, hey, homeboy, I want to make it. I'm going to have a group with him, So I respect him for that.
Yeah, you said respect. You did not say love. And as much time and energy as y'all spent together,
Nah, we did, yeah.
I would think you might like, I have love for that man, but you're like, I have respect for him, which is cool, but it's not the same.
I can say that too. I can say, yeah, I do got love for him. I knew him too long for that too, but I also know to a factor too. Like again, this is what we have right now is business. I don't hang with him, and he don't hang with me.
It's business now. It's not the same. We don't talk on the phone like we used to.
No. All that been stopped a while ago.
Rakim said something similar to me because he and Eric B broke up for a while, and it was kind of similar, although Rakim actually did break into Eric's house for real, right? Eric was not there, but he said they got back together because there's so much breaking up in the world. So many people have their families or their parents are divorced, they're divorced, whatever. And when you go to a show and your man Rakim is alone when he was with Eric B, it's not the same.
They still don't work together though.
What do you mean?
They're not together. That was a moment.
What do you mean?
They don't work together.
They don't. They'll do a show.
Yeah, but it'd be here and there.
Yes, but Rakim doesn't like. Why don't you just be by yourself? I'm like, no, it's not the same. And like, you could be by yourself. You had a solo career. But it's not the same as like when I was in high school, when I was in college, those were my guys. And now I'm 50, whatever, I see them again, they're still together, right? It gives you a good feeling they're still together.
Nah, that's the main thing that keeps kept the union with EPMD together. It's the fan that's happy. That like, I saw my boys last night. So that's what makes me be like, okay, well, and I beat the promoter up. I beat him up for like, this is what this costs,
What does it cost to get you to do a show?
30.
To do one show?
Yeah, it's not a bunch. I'm not asking for a whole bunch compared to what people are asking for now. You know what I'm saying? So, because this was the price that was for Hip Hop 50. So it was 25. So at the time, whatever. So Hip Hop 50 was all 25. So I figured that okay, we did that. Now I don't really want to do that no more. So if you really want us again, it's 30 now.
You don't really want to do shows?
I never did a lot of shows. I did touring in the beginning. I'm a producer, Touré. I make music.
You want to be in the studio more than on a stage.
I've always been in the studio all the time.
But I don't want to be on a stage that much.
I never was a person that did a lot of shows.
You don't like it?
I just choose not to do that. I like to be the creator possible.
So when you're in the studio, what is it that you do that makes your records come out the way they do?
I think the simplicity of the technique I use. I'm baseline driven. So again, like you said before, like I remember Snoop told the story. I heard that he was in the car and he went to Brentwood looking for EPMD. Right? It's funny because we made the gangbanger music.
Right.
But I'm from Brentwood, Long Island. The only thing Snoop heard was Brentwood. So he's in Brentwood, California, looking for EPMD. Which is the illest shit when I hear the story. But the reason why it doesn't, it's not weird because again, the music that we made was what LA was playing.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We just, while New York was sampling James Brown, we weren't. We were sampling funk music.
Yeah.
So matter of fact, LA is up here gangbanging to everything EPMD is making. That's why when you ask Dub C, yo, who kind of the godfather of LA? And he'd be like, Erick Sermon. He said he's showed us how to do this on this music. He rapped on what we was gangbanging to.
That's deep.
Yep.
That's deep. Before you even got out there, you were having an influence on them.
I was in LA almost every 2 weeks. EPMD was there at the roller skating ring, the World on Wheels, whatever, the one that NWA was at. We used to have the helicopters outside the building. You can hear them hovering because again, once we start, boom, boom, shots firing, boop, 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 because that's how the music was back then.
Yeah.
You know, certain songs come on, shots firing. Stop again.
So you're in the studio. You start with the rhythm, right? First is the bass line. First is the rhythm track.
It's the sample first. The idea of what the sample could be that we sample, because don't forget everything was sampling. And then if it doesn't have if the bass line's not heavy enough, I follow that bass line. I follow what's going to move that sample at the time. So it's usually the sample first.
And do you have like a list of breaks that you're like, that'll be hot one day, that'll be hot one day, I'm gonna try that one day?
Nah,
and then
everything is whatever is the moment. No, again, it's like either, again, I wasn't a digger. Like as far as like Premier and all them people, I didn't do that.
Okay.
Whatever was around me is what I used.
Okay.
Now, I was doing How High. The Crusaders CD just happened to be somewhere in the lab. I ain't dig that. What I put on, I heard boom, doo, doo, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, okay.
What are you looking for when you're picking a sample?
Just melody, so something that's funky, something that sounds good, something that again that feels good to me, and I feel like okay, well, I could put this in the beat. This right here might sound good. I can play on top of this record and enhance this too.
You can make it yourself. You can chop it up.
I can make it myself.
You can be in the studio alone and make a record.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I mean, like some producers are button pushers and some are not.
Oh nah, I create everything. Don't forget, Touré, I've been doing this thing from the beginning, and not just hip hop. I've been doing R&B just the same. So while you hearing EPMD, I'm also over here doing Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Blackstreet, D'Angelo, Chico DeBarge, Angie Stone, Brownstone, Keith Sweat, In Vogue. I'm again. There's no media, so they don't know this part unless they picking it, unless they seeing like, okay, Erick made these records. But I was doing just as much R&B as I was doing hip hop.
And so you're gonna pick a sample, you're gonna fatten it up for what you feel like, and then what are you gonna do?
Then I'm putting it in song format, because once the sample is there, I gotta make sure that the drums match it. Because again, some drums don't match the sample, so it might be off. Got to match the drum for the sample, and then see what the sample doesn't have and add to it. And that's it.
How long did it take you to make a record?
It depends. It depends. It could be. I made music in 3 hours. Then you get something you're making in 4 hours. Made something in 8 hours. But the Marvin Gaye record that came, that was 3 hours.
That sample.
It depends. I like Jay-Z's whole format too, making albums in 2 weeks. Like again, you can do that. If you focus enough on what you want to get, whatever. I'm a Sagittarius too, so I know what he mean by that. Even back then, when EPMD first started, each session was $35 an hour. Don't forget, we only got $70, so you only got 2 hours. So whatever we made, that's what we kept.
Yo, I was told once that the reason why Erick B is the president is one verse, right? Is because he fell asleep. Because they were in school, because he was in school then, Rakim, right? They recorded for 7 days at night, right after school or not going to school, whatever. The seventh night,
You mean paid in full?
paid in full. Excuse me, paid in full. Paid in full. He did a verse, and he fell asleep, and Eric could not get him to wake up, and Eric was tired too because in his talk part.
Oh, that was you. Wow, we fucked
he
up.
Fucks up, right? He makes mistakes because he's fucking tired because they've been up all night for 7 nights in a row.
I never heard that story.
Finally caught up with him. It's crazy, but it's wild. It was such an incredible era. Such an incredible era that you were part of.
Yeah, because again, you had the ill part that I tell people now that you don't have to sound like somebody to win.
Yeah,
like the distinction between Slick Rick, EPMD, Kane, Rakim, Public Enemy, Jay Jeff and the Fresh Prince, the Coogee Rap, Hammer, Too Short.
Heavy.
You had Heavy.
Poor Righteous Teachers.
Ghetto Boys, Poor Righteous Teachers. You had all these people. De La, Tribe,
Jungle Brothers.
Yeah, Jungle Brothers.
Latifah.
So, and imagine this, we can go on and keep going. They all was different, and they all went platinum.
Well, you guys were in an era when careers were happening, right? So when you were developing your skill, it was mostly we put out one record, maybe one album, that was success, right? You guys came about at the level of we're going to have careers, we're going to have albums, we're going to be superheroes in our own right.
Yeah, we listen, we never thought that if I would be lying if I thought I could tell you that it was a hard task.
What do you mean?
We made what we felt, we put it out. There wasn't no second guessing or nothing like that. We just knew that our colleagues were dope. Chaos One was over there barking. Rakim was doing what he's doing. Kane was over there phenomenal. So all the stuff that we looking at, phenomenal rappers, seeing the MC Light, Latifah, these people, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like, look at this competition. You got NW, and this guy, Ice Cube, comes out. You like, nah, this can't be. It's too many. So it kept you sharp. So when you hear the records and you hear all the competition and you wonder why the album was so spectacular, is because can you imagine being in that type of era with all these people? You couldn't go wrong.
But you felt pressure.
It wasn't pressure. It was the fact that, we knew what we had to do. We didn't feel pressure because we already showing that we can do it. So now we're just making music now. Now it's like, okay, we can't be whack. We don't know how to be whack. So now it's like, who cares who's out? Now we the dogs now. Because again, you're still looking at 2'6", 2.5 brothers, 230, whatever like that. You're not saying nothing anyway, and we talking that shit. Don't get too close or you might get shot, and that's it. So everybody's scared to death though too.
Talk about we talked about producing great artists. Produce Jay-Z. A lot of people think he's the greatest MC.
Right.
Talk about working with Jay and producing him, and do you feel the quality of MC that people are talking about?
I think that at the end of the day, like I said, I did Reservoir Dogs with Rockwilder. It was something that was crazy that because how phenomenal MC that he is. You know this already. But it was 2 records done that time.
That night?
Yeah, it was another sample that he did. I don't know where this song is at.
Okay.
It was a Maxwell sample. And then you got to imagine, here's my crew record again. This is 4-3-2-1. So now this is another one with, who's this guy's name? Benny Siegel. He's the DMX now for this thing. So to make this thing work though too is like, that's Source Money, and then you have to put the locks and see how all this dynamic is going to work together too. So, it's the best of the best.
Is there a sample you love or a record you love that you haven't been able to sample that like, oh, it's right there?
Oh man. I don't know because I don't know if I used it. I know there was the Beach Boys with Heavy D one time, and the Beach Boys was not clearing nothing. Hotel California.
You wanted to use that?
Yeah, so I reversed it in the beat because of course that guy was too rich. He don't give a fuck. He's like, I don't want nobody sampling my shit. Ain't nobody money. What's his name? The lead singer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was rich. He was like, nobody was like, he's like Prince. I don't need nobody sampling none of my shit. You know? But that was the only one that I wanted to really use because I had
the Eagles.
Huh?
The Eagles.
Okay, yeah, him too.
That's Hotel
Yeah,
California.
yeah, him.
Don Henley.
Yeah, Don Henley.
But he said no.
Nobody, he's rich. Nobody don't need you to sample my music. I don't need.
But you would love to sample that record.
At the time, I had a whole concept of it with Heavy D. God Bless the Dead. That it was incredible how we made the record.
What was the concept?
It was like going back to Cali, but the Hotel California was something about. Damn, it was about being in the hotel too, but the concept was written as a story. As far as a girl, and what happened that night.
So you plan out a whole concept for a record, not just get a sample.
Well, if you can get a concept, that's the best thing. If the sample makes you do something that everybody would love that to happen. Like again, like how Old Boy sample, the Old Boy was this, so now you get to go off the Old Boy, and that becomes a record. The idea is there. Just like music, the same thing. If the idea is there, then you can come off the idea faster. So you trying to create a chorus out of thin air. So usually some of the samples that might have an idea in it, you can get the idea from it.
Do you coach the MCs or you just let them go?
So that's a good answer. Back then, we used to be face to face. I used to coach everybody. Tell them what to do. The R&B people
more
too.
Like this, a little less like that.
Well, just the fact that it sounds better this way, And I'm a producer and a beat maker, two different people.
Yeah, that's right.
A producer is the person that tells, hey, Touré, that paragraph is dope, but it should go first. That chorus is dope, but it don't match that paragraph.
Producer makes the whole record.
The whole thing.
Beat maker.
Just put the beat down, and because the beat might be hot, but it might not be for you. So what that beat's hot? It might not be for that person. That's what some people mess up at in the industry, thinking that the beat is running and the song is not being made. Even though the beat is crazy, but the beat was not for you. It don't fit you.
You as a producer have to be cognizant of where are you as an artist.
Timbaland and Pharrell has the same thing too. When Pharrell looks at me and he says, King, thank you. The fact that to be able to produce a record, to make the best record for that person.
At that time.
That means you just can't give them something that, because the beat's hot. You just can't give them something that they like and whatever and don't fit. You can't make them say, this tone don't match you. No matter what you do on this beat, your tone and your flow doesn't match this. It's not gonna work.
I mean, it's interesting because you gotta understand who they are as an artist.
Murray didn't want to say the most beautifulest thing in this world is just like that. Argued me to the point that almost put his hands up.
What are you talking about? That's the most incredible line he ever said. He didn't want to say it? He didn't believe in that line?
Nope.
Didn't he write it?
From Hostile, from the video.
Didn't he write it?
Of course.
So why didn't he want to say it?
He just didn't. He just said that again, which is weird. That he said he couldn't pronounce it in the way I wanted to say it. Him in the chorus, how you say it, whatever. He said that he couldn't pronounce it like that. Like he couldn't do it. That was the excuse that he gave me.
And you made him do it.
Of course.
But it got hostile.
Again, because he was like, I'm not saying that. I'm like, Murray, in this Hostile verse, this is one of the, there's 96 degrees in the shade before I catch blood on my blade. This is the record that this paragraph got people talking about you right now. So the most beautiful thing as well is my notion. So I'm like looking at that thing too, like, yo, this is a dope. Not knowing it was a made up word, like the fact that it went the most beautifulest thing in it went like that. So I like that part. So he's like, nah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it at all, period. And he was adamant.
How'd you get him over?
I don't know. I just figured that don't forget this is his first album.
Right.
This is me like trying to make the best I can for you to say this is going to be something, and he didn't believe it.
It's interesting because the producer does have to know who are you and what do you need.
Right.
But there's also moments we've seen a bunch of times somebody takes a record that's not normal for them.
Right.
And because it is different, the audience is like, yo,
Yep.
I did not know you were like that. Right? So there has to be room for like, maybe they do need to take a total left turn.
Right. Because when I was doing the How High record, the show's soundtrack was a different version I made. I made both versions. I made this rhyming record they rhymed on. Now, when they get to the video shoot, this is crazy. They hear the other record I made with the Fly, Robin Fly. They had no idea, never heard it. Leo never played the record for them. Kevin never showed the record to them. So imagine them at the set, arguing, bad, cursing, everybody the fuck out. Me, Diane Martell, Leo, they cursing everybody out. What is this? This is not the record. We didn't come here to shoot this shit. Looking at me, Eric, what did you do? All of a sudden, the hour go by, hour and a half go by, Smoke come in to play, they shoot the video.
So wait,
right?
Go on.
1 million sales.
So wait, you as a producer, what does Kanye need? What kind of records does he need to get back to being the top tier artist that he was when he was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy?
Yeah, I think
808s
that's the album. But again, the 808s, Heartbreak 2, all this stuff was monumental, was all game changing.
Yeah.
Now, too, is back to this.
Writing.
Right, the rhyme part. And then it's back to the rhyme part along with what you used to do and then also having the sample again. That's what he said, Eric. I called you because I wanted to get shit that nobody is done. I don't want to hear no familiar samples, and I want new shit. That's what he wanted. I want new shit. I want nothing that somebody's heard. I'm not doing nothing. I want all new shit. So that's what I was giving them, all new samples. Don't forget, I got a company called TrackLib, which is #1 in the space right now. Over Steve Stout, which is number 15. I'm number 1. United Masters 15, TrackLib, Erick Sermon, uno. But just making sure about that. But again, I already had my own sampling company. So I knew at the end of the day, like, I'd be able to find some stuff and be able to bring what he needed. And then that's when he said, though, too, just keep playing, keep playing, keep playing, keep playing, keep playing. So I just kept pressing play. You know?
Whew. I could talk to you all day.
Now listen, man, this is, again, my best experience was the Dr. Dre experience, again, recording records like that with him. Because when I went down there with Dre, as the stuff had came out and went viral the whole 9, I thought that I did everything there was to do in the studio with recording till I met him. Meaning not met him, but in the studio with him.
Yeah. Wait, what did you learn from being around him in the studio as a producer?
The simplicity of how he does it. Like, wow. Like, if you look at what you have and then you don't have to sit there and write rhymes and write a 16. You can play with melodies in your head, do certain cadences. You have a team like Kanye got to, he has that too, of writers. And we sit there and we say a couple of lines. And then if the line is dope, we lay it until 16 bars is done. There's no writing. I never experienced none of that in my life. And the guy next to me said, we've been here for 8 years. Everybody come in here and get a photo op in here, except you. You came here, he did 3 records of yours back to back. Because the vibe, can you bring another vibe into it? Some people bring a vibe in. It was just happened to be my year to do the two biggest people in the planet. Dr. Dre one year, then go and switch, and I'm with Ye. That's how the cards went for me. And then Dynamic Duo showed up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and get everybody. So I went back and got everybody. People were like, yo, how does Erick do that? Because the fact that the respect that people gave me, what I was able to do for people, but then the concept of, yo, dynamic duos, let's make it happen. Then I got volume 2 coming where I'm taking the newcomer and putting them with a classic person. So I already had what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And this is my lane. I'm not doing the Khaled lane. I'm not doing nobody that somebody else is doing. I'm doing what I feel, and that's the lane is missing, and that's us. And then I put like Lil Wayne and Game together, to see if that works again. I had Conway with Lil Wayne and them together, see how that works. Then I go and say, who's the new guys? Larry June, Sauce Walker. I'm like, okay, let me see Corday. Let me get some of these, Freddie Gibbs, see what's going on. Put them together with other people so I can make some excitement so it won't be the same old stuff that we hearing. And I don't want to give my stuff out because if you come out of my idea, I'm coming for you. You're taking money out of my mouth. So don't think that you're going to come and hear the Touré say, yo, damn, Erick is on to something crazy. I'm already doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, and when the dynamic duos come out, it's going to stop all y'all anyway, because you're going to have to be able to say, how do you put this together? How do you make this happen? And no way we thought about something like this. And we can't, because he's coming back again. By the time you look up, volume 2 going to be out.
Wait, who are you going to put together?
Just new people with people. So put somebody with a veteran rapper. So say if I'm doing Young Blue, I would say, let me say, who I can put Young Blue with that might match? Or I'll put him with T.I. Or I'll put this one with such and such, but not the normal names all the time. There's so many new people that you probably don't know, you probably do know out. That's out.
Yeah.
That, besides Griselda and them.
Yeah.
There's new people out that the young people are messing with. Like the couple that I mentioned, Simba and all of them, or King Los and them, or whatever. They're out there. So I want to be able to also highlight them, highlight the true talent, but also mix in the new. When I say new, I mean the new people who can rhyme. Like I didn't know Triple X God Bless the Day was an MC. I didn't know he was nice like that. I watched another guy I saw, and I did not know he was like that. I'm like, wow. And I saw Corday, of course, Tyler the Creator, because Earl Sweatshirt, Schoolboy Q and them. All these people that, again, you don't see with somebody, I'm going to make dynamic duos on them, on people you would never see them with.
You think in music?
This interview you're doing with me might not be one of them because, again, you do so many people, right, in the era, but the shift is here. The mirage that people are seeing is a mirage. Music is making a huge change, and it's going to be about talent. No likes, no algorithms. All that stuff will be a distant memory when the shift that's happening now of music going back to, are you talented? Because again, you can't do this. I feel like R. Kelly. You're like, I ain't do this. You're killing me over here. Yeah, but again, it's gonna. You gotta. People want to hear things, and then me doing the Salt and Pepper just proved it of how this record's moving. The CEO came out for me today. His son's sitting right behind you. Kevin Lyles' 300 is huge. With huge artists, with Megan and Young Thug and Gunner and Honcho and all these people. But Erick Sermon's over here too. And what is this 55-year-old doing over here right now in this mix of this era and making noise? It's a problem. Because the shift is here and people want to hear another conversation. Give them something else. Not because we have to keep hearing this, not saying I'm trying to tell them not to, but we give them something else.
I want to go back for 1 second because I was listening to the first album today. and one of the records, Paris says, "Do you sniff blow?" And you say, "No."
Hell no.
I have a
I got
lot
my
of
whole
life.
house, I got my whole life ahead of me. No time to be sniffing. If my parents find out, they're gonna start riffing. Right.
I don't do coke because my parents would be upset. I'm a rap star.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. This is crazy. That is crazy.
Every other rapper's like, fuck yeah, I do crazy shit.
Yeah.
Eric's
Nah.
like, no, my
This
parents
is
would
Long
be very
Island.
bad.
This is Long Island. We went to school, lunch money. Suburbs is different. We ain't claim to be growing up a certain way. You know, we grew
Wait,
up.
what did your dad do?
My dad worked for the mental health kids for years.
Were you
That was
middle
a
class
job.
growing up?
Nah,
Were you working
I was
class?
ratting. The reason why I met Paris because the house I was in was the rats took over it,
What?
so we had to leave. The rats was having a field day in that crib, so we had the
So then
land.
you went to your grandmother.
The landlord was, she didn't know, we didn't know. We used to always see dirt and see stuff coming through. And next thing you know, it was Christmas and the window was in back of my sofa. So I see something pop up and these was acrobatic rats. And they was just popping up, just doing all type of shit, going through the windows, coming down. So I was pull up the sofa and pull the sofa back and there was holes in the sofa. So they was living in the sofa that we was sleeping on.
No.
Lie. Yes. And then in the kitchen, the big mama came and it was moving slow. And because we had poisoned it and went in the kitchen underneath the cabinet. And we was like, you know what? We got to get out of here. So we called grandma.
So disgusting.
But listen, but that story I told in a record, which is so crazy because, again, without that happening, I would have never saw him.
But the real point that I was driving toward,
Right.
as I'm trying to deal with my nausea from you talking about
So
the
go ahead.
mother rat.
Yeah. The mother rat was crazy.
The whole thing was in Long Island, they're middle class, so they rhyme different. So that's why De La and Rakim and Public Enemy and EPMD
now, De La
sounded different.
had a little bit of, they
De La had a little
had a
something.
big house.
Chuck and them had a little something.
They had a big house. They had a big house.
Rakim
Yeah.
and them had, they were
I
stable.
can say, now my grandmother, where I moved to, yeah, that's middle class. We wasn't. When I moved to Paris's neighborhood, that's different.
So Paris and them was middle class.
Well, yeah, they had it. They had, cars and bikes and all that.
Do you agree with that general narrative that hip hop historians or whatever had put, that Long Island was more middle class and that's why a lot
I
of
can't say
the
that
MCs...
because Wine Dance where Rakim is from is one of the roughest places you want to be at. So, and then Public Enemy too from Hempstead, still rough. So again,
So it's not really, that doesn't
Long
fit.
Island just filled the gap as far as hip hop wouldn't be as colorful without Long Island.
Of course, no, it's an incredibly necessary area.
Yeah. What people don't, they put New York, but they don't look at, because when you talking about, not because we in it, you talking about Rakim and Public Enemy.
And De La Soul.
And then you add EPMD, then you add De La Soul, you add Leaders of New School,
Yes.
right? And then you add K Solo, you add Keith Murray, then you add so when you look at Long Island, you like, wow. Forget about Billy Joel, Mariah Carey, and all them. We know what that's about. But hip hop, it'd be empty because the ones that's in there, that one that you mentioned, that De La, EPMD, Rakim, and Public Enemy, it's hard to put that.
I get into an argument too with a lot of rap when we try to talk about who's the greatest, not solo artist, right? But who's the great? And I'm like, we have to separate duos from groups.
Right.
In hip hop, they are two different things.
Right.
If it was three or more guys,
That's a group.
That's a different thing than it's two guys.
Right.
Right? Isn't it? Is it not? Should we not have a different lane for duos than for groups?
Well, I'm going to call the groups two. I keep it the same, but I understand what you're saying too, because the groups could be two or more, but a group is always two or more.
So you think a group is two or more? Because I think that there's so many duos. And
It's 24.
Huh?
24 of them.
What do you mean 24 of them?
That's what, when you go on Google, you put up the duos in rap, it's like 24, 25 of them in all.
I mean, like legendary duos.
Yeah, the Kid and Plays, there's people like that.
Mobb Deep.
It's 24 of them.
And I'm like, we can't compare them. It's different. It's different being two and being three, four, five.
We don't really have that many groups. The Beastie Boys, JJ Fad,
Run DMC.
Onyx. But see, people wouldn't count the Jam Master Jay. We will, because that's the respect of it, but it's still
He's
Run
part of the
DMC.
group.
I know, but it's still Run DMC though, too. Like I said before, it's not Run DMC Jam Master Jay logo, it's Run DMC logo. We know that Jam Master Jay is the third person, that he's the most important person too in that group too, but it's still Run DMC. So you look at the two rappers.
I mean, part of it is when you're running around the country and in the studio, I mean, two people are trying to come up with all these ideas. Two people trying to get through going tour, album, versus three. There's not that many foursomes, but there's a lot of threesomes.
But even when you go to this is what I want to see your definition on this. Eric B. and Rakim.
Well,
right?
it's a duo because there's two people coming up with the ideas.
But there's one rapper.
No, I know. But we know the DJ, that was really the DJ's becoming a producer era. No, I got you.
Pete Rock, CL Smooth.
That's a duo. I mean, Pete Rock rhymed.
I know that.
That's a duo.
But the main two rapper.
But
was
there's
him.
two people coming up with the ideas.
Gangstar.
That's two people. I mean,
I know, but it's one rhymer. But
it's two people coming up with the ideas.
I know that.
That's what I'm.
But this is the argument I have again when you look at when they say the groups, and we got 2-man groups.
We love CL Smooth.
Right.
He's a great MC.
Right.
But a lot of the appeal of Pete Rock and CL Smooth is Pete Rock's musical ideas.
Yeah, music ideas. Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, like he's amazing. Take nothing away from CL. Right. We love him.
No, I'm just saying how you.
Same with Gangstar. Love Guru, incredible voice, but Premier's musical ideas are so important.
But you're still calling it a group.
Yes.
Or a dynamic duo.
It's a duo.
The duo. Okay. Yeah. I just don't know how. When I look at it, like, say, if one person didn't rhyme, then how do you say the group? Because we know it's the group, but then it's only one rapper. That's why I try to.
I mean,
because people ask me too.
So you're going to say a Tribe Called Quest is a duo?
Yeah, of course. Because
it's a trio. Your man Ali is part of the group. I mean, it starts as a quartet.
I know,
right?
but it's two rappers.
Yes, but Ali's ideas are critical.
You're right. You're right
See,
about that.
De La Soul is gonna fuck you up because Mace rhymes a little bit.
A little bit, but
so he gets a whole one.
Nope, I call that a group because
it's a group because it's three of them.
Because he does rhyme.
Wow.
And De La Soul is the De La Soul collective of all three of them, and he does have a voice. That's why I got to give him that.
All right, last thing. What's your top 5 MCs?
Man.
Excluding yourself and your group.
I mean, it's gonna be almost the same though, but I still would have to go to Slick Rick,
5?
Rakim. No, as far
Slick Rick's 1?
No, just as far as in the 5. I don't know the order.
Okay.
I just know that again.
Slick Rick and Rakim.
Rakim, Biggie.
For sure.
I'm gonna say Reggie.
Okay. Wow.
And again, because I gotta put in. See, this is for the Chaos One, the Kane, and you got also 2 Scarface. So
Jay-Z, Nas?
See, those are automatically a given. These are automatically a given. That's why
Jay-Z and Nas.
Of course, those are automatic.
So you're not talking about them.
No, I was
They're
just going
in
some
it,
other way.
But we're beyond that.
It's the same name.
But is Kendrick not at that level?
J. Cole and Kendrick is at a level of
especially Kendrick had a bunch of amazing albums.
No, dope lyricists at this era. This era, you're right. But that's why you can't give it 5. But I got to go back to if something came from somewhere, because then I got to go back and say Andre 3000, because I still have to be like, what he was able to do. But it's a bunch of them that lyrically you can't do that 5. It's almost impossible.
It's too many.
It's almost impossible as far as great MCs, it's almost impossible. Because then, you know, you got to look at Ye as one of those rhymers. Like, he wasn't no slouch on the mic.
What?
Not on the microphone. He was on the mic. He was.
What?
To me.
What?
Yes.
Dog.
Metaphorically.
Dog. We talking about Jay-Z.
No, I know
Nas,
that.
I'm
saying, listen, man.
He's an entertainer. He's brilliant.
I know, but rhyme-wise, yeah, he is.
He makes.
No, I'm not saying that
great
on
records.
the lyricist part. I'm saying, but rhyme-wise, though, man, the stuff that he used to say, man.
I mean, he said some fly, funny shit.
Yeah.
He said some wild shit.
No, not lyrically, but he did move the needle.
Yes, he moves the needle as a producer.
Yeah, but as a song maker too, man.
But this is not a top 10 MC.
No.
Because you named about 10 people.
Yeah.
Around 10. Yeah. Kanye's not
I said
a top
for
10
that
MC.
influence, when he came out, it changed me up. Lauryn Hill.
We didn't even talk about Wayne.
What about Lauren?
Lauren, for sure.
Wayne
Incredible
too.
career. Incredible.
That's why I said for it's too much, because you're not talking about Wayne neither.
What you mean?
Or Drake.
Oh, now we're going to fight. We was talking about
lyrically?
major and yes. Are you kidding?
Toure, lyrically Drake in his prime? It's like
God.
Wayne.
Oh my God. I'm gonna walk out of my own interview. Drake like Wayne? What are you talking about? Wayne is one of the great
I'm not saying like what I mean.
And lyricists ever.
I mean,
Drake is not coming close to Wayne ever.
Yeah, but Wayne noticed that boy was nice. He didn't take him because he was not nice.
I'm not talking about business, and I don't know what Wayne
Not
saw.
business. I'm talking about as far as lyrically in the beginning with rhymes.
When I evaluate an MC,
yeah, we're not putting them in the 5
okay.
10.
Okay. But you put them in the same sentence. That pissed me off. Look. When I evaluate an MC, the first thing is flow. That's the first in relationship we're gonna have. First time I'm listening to your song, I mean, you guys.
So you're saying Wayne then?
Yeah, no, Wayne, for sure. Flows are incredible. The first time I'm listening to your song, I might not get all the words. I might not get 75% of the words. But if the flow is there, I want to listen to it again and again and again to get the words, right? Drake flows like a slam poet.
But when?
What do you mean when? All the time. Wayne
in the beginning
flows like fucking water. Yo, I love...
In the beginning.
Yo, you know what I love? Was it Ignorant shit? Or the one where he's talking about Sylvia Rhone and he parked his car down the street?
Yeah. Okay.
I love that record. There's no flow on that. He don't flow. You get no flow, no joy of flow from Wayne. Excuse me, from Drake. Wayne's flow is ridiculous.
We know that, but
yeah.
You still got to see that at some point he was dangerous.
Dangerous? Do you think anybody in any cipher or any record was like, don't let Drake come on, he gonna take over the record and ruin it. Wayne, people's like, don't put Wayne on my record, he's gonna outshine me.
You're not comparing them to as far as together. Just saying that lyrically at one point, same how I feel about you said shit was slick. I said it was too metaphorically. Some of the stuff that he was saying was like, wow. That's what he was at one time. And again, you skipped over Lauryn Hill.
No, we didn't skip over. We love Lauryn. We both love Lauryn Hill. Amazing career, amazing MC. I fuck with her. I love her.
Okay.
Who else?
I'm just saying. Yeah, you said I'm about to leave with the Drake. like, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not hating because I want the future, but in the
because you're in the culture.
Yeah, but in the beginning when he was, man.
Best I ever had. That was that fly.
No, not that. Shit? Not that. The mixtape Drake.
Okay.
The rhyming.
Mixtape Drake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the records.
Okay.
See.
Okay. I miss mixtapes in general. I love that whole culture. I love the way MCs would do different styles, different things that he wouldn't do on a record.
How you feel about Big Sean?
Big Sean is really smart. He is really interesting. I love, like, I find his music, his lyrics be very visual.
Yes.
Right? And I'm like, love the wordplay, right? Like really smart wordplay. Like I like him.
Very, okay. But that's what I'm saying. You gave that wordplay a chance. That's what Ye was. How you think Sean got there?
Oh, Ye was a very interesting lyricist.
Yes.
And we saw him develop. I said interesting,
but
not great. And we saw him develop from good to much better. Right? As we went from the college stuff to the features when it like he got really interesting.
Hell yeah.
And you talking about George Soros, or what was the rhyme where you talking about the white guy, the George Tenet? I was like, yo, nobody's talking about that shit. That's wild. You wild.
Right. I got you.
But is he some great MC when we talk about the top 10?
No,
the way that
not in that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I mean,
I got you.
One thing with Ye, he'll write some wild shit or he'll read some wild shit that somebody else wrote, whatever, no shade. But how did you flow it? How did you piece it together with your voice? You know, like we said, like Andre could say nothing and it would be amazing.
Amazing.
There's certain MCs who don't say shit, and it's amazing. Just the way you say. You don't need to be Chuck D to me to win me over. The way you say it,
I got you.
Llama, red pajama. Like, oh my
I got
God,
you.
she killed it.
I got you. I hear you saying now. I understand it. So take away the MC. It's interesting, but the MCs are you saying, which is Jay, Nas, of course, Biggie, Pac, of course.
Yes.
You know, I hear what you're saying.
Kendrick,
Right, Kendrick.
3,000.
J. Cole.
J. Cole, 100%.
Dangerous.
100%. 100%.
Okay, I got you.
Yo, you are fucking legend. Appreciate. I can't believe we haven't hung out like this before.
This is it took a while, but it happened.
I'm honored
and
that
I
you
always
came
said to her,
through.
like, damn, when I'm gonna get fucking when Touré gonna call me to talk to me about something, you know, like, you know, what I did. I'm way past my colleague.
It was never.
You know?
It was never for lack of.
I know. I'm talking.
Because I mean, I was into EPMD when you guys were hot. I was clocking those records. That was my era as a fan, right? Like fucking with you guys and LL, whatever. So hell yeah.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
I just know that at the time, the Def Jam, at the time on that label, you know, we talk about how that was, and it was, now that was competition.
Def Jam.
Because it's Murder, it's Rough Riders, it's Rockefeller, it's Def Squad, and all of us is in here at the same time.
And they're pitting you guys against each other, aren't they?
Well, somebody got to get more promotions than what we got, but it seemed like somehow they was making it work because nobody was unhappy. Everybody was selling records. Everybody was just doing them. Everybody was winning.
But I remember being in the building a little bit at one point, and who was it? Gotti was complaining about something Dame was getting or something. And it was like, clearly like, somebody is like,
Yeah,
so
of
that
course.
you get jealous and you compete against him, and like, we want it to be a battle.
Because again, it sold records.
But it was like that when you guys were on the label.
Well, we, Nice and Smooth was making noise.
Yes.
They came out of nowhere and got signed to my label.
Yes.
Like, so I ain't feel like number one, even though again they, you know, we still was number one. But I'm like, who's these Nice and Smooth guys?
Yo, did
you know?
he?
And that album was front to back dope.
Did he know that Dizzy Gillespie did not play a sax?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm always like, was he saying some fly shit, or did he just make a mistake and he kept it because it was fly?
It was fly.
Thank you so much for this. Has been legendary.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
And I just want the people to know that at the end of the day, like, there's people out here who are listening to them talk about music and about, you know, can somebody make something for us, you know? So that's what I did.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless.